Okay, hello everyone. I'm filling in tonight, so it's not my usual Wednesday night. It's a Tuesday today, but you've got me as your company for the next 90 minutes or so, and the next 40 laps of racing in RPM. First division, it's round 8, and it is a sprint weekend, so looking forward to this, and it's obviously much better for me to commentate over racing laps rather than qualifying laps. At least that's my preference. So we're going to wait for the session to begin. Obviously, I think we may be a few minutes late because we have to set up the grid in the menus, which can take some time, and obviously we can only do that once everybody is in the session. I see there are 17 drivers in the session. One guy couldn't make it, so I believe we're waiting on one or two more. But in the meantime, I'm going to run you guys through the standings, which I haven't seen. To be quite honest, I don't often look. And it's obviously my usual championship event will be held by Luke tomorrow. So let's take a look at the drivers then. So we have Goran Potner leading by 42 points, so a very, very big margin for him. However, he is not racing tonight. That's a late call, late dropout from Goran Potner, which means that the Mercedes driver Danos has an opportunity to open the door. He's 42 points down at the minute, so a race win would put him right back into contention for the lead of the championship. And I believe it's probably worthwhile me checking on who's actually here and who's missing. Hold on. First division attendance. So we have Smithy and Eunice who are missing, and Smythe even. So P7 is missing after two previous misses and a third DNF, so he's going to be dropping down the table, unfortunately. And Eunice, where is Eunice on this table? I don't see him at all, so I'm not sure where he is. Everyone else should be with us, though. We've got one missing McLaren driver. Of course, that's Smithy. Okay, so the gaps are pretty tight, actually, up and down the grid. Unfortunately, a few guys toward the bottom struggling to score points. That seems to be consistent in across the divisions. There's a few guys at the bottom who are obviously struggling to complete the races or miss a few DNSs, etc., etc. Let's take a look then. This is my first time looking at this table, so I'm just trying to see if there's any standouts. For example, Spivey, all the way down in P12, but he's got himself on the podium once already, and inorganic down there, but consistent from the first round after that DNF. At least he's brought the car home on every occasion. Not points on every occasion, but more often than not. And the podium sitters there, 1, 2, 3, in order of 3rd, 4th and 5th. Matty, Ritchie and Westy. They are very, very close together, really. 25 points separating 5th to 4th, but only 3 points, 1.4 points. So 8 points separating 5th all the way down to 8th. So there could be a shift in the midfield there. Let's take a look. Keep checking over my shoulder. The lobby is still not underway. Let me see what they're saying in the chat. Westy has said they're going to start in 2 minutes time, so we'll be underway shortly. Let's take a look at the constructors then for this division. You have to mind the championship text at the top. This is first division, don't forget it. Why have I done that? So Aston Martin lead the championship by a hefty margin, nearly 200 points, closer to 80. Mercedes and McLaren close in behind. McLaren a lot closer to Mercedes than Mercedes are to Aston Martin. The Haas team coming in behind them, only 15 points off the McLaren drivers. And again, you head down the grid, pretty consistent. The battle for P7 is well and truly on between Alfa Romeo and AlphaTauri, the two Alfa teams. And the same goes really for Alpine and Williams. Obviously, those two teams very far away from everybody else. But P9 is still in contention, so everything is left to play for. Everything's wide open. But Aston Martin need a good session today to extend their lead. And those drivers are, of course, Goran Potner and Zabiaka. And Goran Potner's not here today. So the lead of Aston Martin falls on the shoulders of Zabiaka. And I don't think if the two Mercedes drivers who are both here, even if they got a 1-2, I'm not sure if that's enough to take them ahead. It's 40, 70. No. Might be. I don't know. I'm not going to sit here and give a definitive answer. It might be enough. We will wait and see. So after the last round then, in Singapore, this is a fresh race week. Nothing's happened yet. You can see the lobby is still waiting to go. Should be underway in the next few moments. Ferrari extend the lead, over 70 points to my team, McLaren. And then the Mercedes team, followed by Aston Martin. So again, the Aston Martins are doing well in the other two divisions, but unfortunately not so much in the other divisions. Then Red Bull and the Haas teams are quite close together again, a 40-point margin between them. Why have I got an invite from Westy? Hold on. Let me open the chat and make sure I'm not in the wrong lobby. Is he making a new one? Yes, okay, he's making a new lobby. So let me head over. Okay, so we're going to be delayed again. It's alright. Sometimes it can't be helped. So we'll just keep chatting shit. Let's see who we have in the chat. Got 7 viewers in. We've got some support for Goey. I think that's his name. We've got RIA Haas saying... Oh, he's still trying to join. Okay, cool. Oh, and we've got the boy. We've got the boy. Spritzy is with us. The comms go, well, I wouldn't go that far, mate, but I'll take it. I'll take it. I'm covering for the boys. I'm covering. Yeah, so I mean, you've had long enough to take a look at that lovely list of drivers in front of us, but we're obviously we're still waiting. So why not talk about the rest of the calendar? Round 8. After tonight, we'll be 2/3 of the way through, and we have some great circuits to round off the season. China, not one of my favourites, but it's a good track nonetheless. And then a Great British Sprint around Silverstone, which is going to be, that's the one I'm aiming for a good result. I've had some good times in Premier Division as of late, so that'll be my next track. I'm not a big fan of Bahrain or China, so I'm just going to, damage limitation, as you say, over the next couple of weeks. And then back in between the barriers, around the streets of Azerbaijan in Baku. Very, very tricky circuit. Obviously, many heavy braking zones, mostly 90-degree corners. So plenty of overtaking opportunities, at least I'd say, maybe 7 or 8 opportunities around the track. And then we head off to Italy for the first time. No Monza on this in this season. Just Imola for us to round off in the middle of February. So we're still 4 or 5 weeks off of the end of Season 5 before we head into the new era, let's say, of Season 6 with the new changes to the assist rules and regulations, new admin teams, new this, that and the other. We'll get through Season 6 and then it'll be time nearly for the new game, I think. Still no ready-ups. Unfortunately, we do have 18 drivers in the new lobby, so Westy will probably be setting up that grid now. He's been called in late, as have I, to host the session, so he is maybe slightly unprepared, but it's all good. We will wait on nonetheless. What else can I say in the meantime? Is anyone else in chat? Let's see. We've got Schmidt with some support for Williams, and that's all. Hopefully we get some more guys in here as things go on. I'll just keep peering over my shoulder waiting for that first green tick, because once that goes, we'll be very close to some action and some racing. So let's just do the whole circle again and see if I can pick anything out of here. So the only guys to complete every lap of every Grand Prix so far are the top 3, and then P9 and P10. Everyone else has failed to complete every lap. Well, obviously, as I just said. So it's quite consistent racing from Sinful and Reuse in P9 and P10. And Snellhenk there with that one win around Monaco, which I noticed a couple of weeks ago. I was watching on, and it's good that the McLaren boys have now got 3 podiums this season, 2 wins shared equally. But as I highlighted earlier, obviously Smithy needs to start attending some races to get some points in for the all tiers especially. It's been back-to-back podiums for Richie, so he'll be looking forward to this. It's the first time I've commentated on most of these guys. And just as I say that, Colin pops up in the chat. Evening to you too, Colin. Yeah, good luck to Ferrari and good luck to Richie. Let's see if he can get the hat-trick of podiums. In this, oh no, it's not the street triple header. He didn't manage to get one in Jeddah, but wouldn't that be something? 3 podiums in the 3 street circuits. No one's managed that. Goran Potner nearly did it. 2 P2s and a P6 around Singapore last week, but couldn't convert. And then obviously Danos got the win back in Jeddah. But all eyes on Matty tonight, the race winner in the Haas from last week. And the lobby, drumroll please, is underway. So we can finally switch over to the main feed and we can have a look. I've realised I haven't had time to change what this says, so let me do that magic right in front of your very eyes. A Bosch fixed. Oh no, not fixed. A Bosch. It's been fixed. Right, thank God for that. We're in. The viewers are coming in. Let's get to 10 as soon as we can. We've got 8 in. Let's get to 10. And the guys will be choosing their setups, the fuel loads, and obviously strapping on those medium tyres. And we'll be underway with the formation lap. There we go. 20 seconds. We have a countdown. Only 10 minutes late. That's not too bad. Could be worse. At least we're underway. Now, since I was slightly unprepared, I need to get the track map up. Because I don't know the corners very well. Or at least the numbers of the corners. So, 15 corners around here with 3 DRS zones. It'll be interesting to see which drivers opt for a low downforce setup, and those who want to maximise sector 2 will choose a little more front wing and rear wing. But as you can see from the run down from turn 3 to 4, 10, 11, 13, 14 and 15 to 1, all on the outside of this track, it's a hell of a lot of straight line action, so you don't want to compromise that straight line speed too much on this circuit. So I'm sure we'll soon get a gauge of how people are looking. So the grid then, from back to front, we've got Gala. I'm going to go with Gala. We've got Ugla and Gala. We've got Inorganic, Ivor, Jones, Goey, Rusty, Frax and Spivey. We've got Leaky, Ryu, Sinful, Snellheg, Sabijaka, Westy the Boy, Richie, Matty and Danos, the P2 in the championship, rounding off the back. So it'll be an interesting run down into turn 1 for only the second sprint race of the season. And if I remember correctly, I believe there was carnage on the opening lap of the sprint around Brazil for every division. Obviously that comes from the mix-up in ability, the mix-up in pace. The guys at the back will typically be better at starts than the guys at the front, and that creates some sort of pile-up going into turn 1. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw some cars maybe going even 4 wide, 3 wide I'm sure, 4 wide possibly, as some of the guys, for example, you know, I'm looking at people like Snellhenk and Jabba Jacka who've been on the podium to think I'll get ahead of these guys in behind me. Hope that they can come across some traffic. So we've got Gala heading around the final corner to take his grid spot. Let's see how many guys can avoid picking up a penalty, and Frax has left the session. So his AI is going to be doing the race start for him, and I'm not sure on the rules that we have here in terms of sprint race weekends. I know during qualifying you can rejoin before the race begins, but we'll have to see. So cars are all lining up. Sinful being disqualified, Goey being disqualified. They'll be on cold tyres to start the run down into turn 1. We wait for the lights. We've got 10 in. Get in. 10 viewers. Let's make it 15. How are we? That's the mission. We have lights then. We've got 3. We've got 4. We've got 5. And it's lights out and away we go around Bahrain. And that Alpine of Ive has got a brilliant start there. And they are already 4 wide. They're already 4 wide heading at the first turn. I can't see anything. They're into the braking zone. And a few guys across the curb. Danos is just keeping himself nicely. Is that a car or is that a board? We've got contact ahead. I think that's the McLaren and the Aston Martin have come together. Danos is picking up some places now. No one's been left behind, so the pack stays as it is. Frax's AI getting in the way, and that's a drop by the Aston Martin. Jabba Jacka is in the wall. He's kept it going though. Let's have a look at what's going on at the front. So Ivor had a great launch, and so did Rusty, up 5 places. Westy up 8 places. Great start by him. Inorganic is having some issues. He's side by side with Westy as they head into turn 9 and 10. Really difficult braking zone, and he's got himself on the curb. That's not what you want to do. That can easily spin the car out there. Inorganic has kept it together, thankfully. So Westy with an absolute rocket start there. I would have liked to have had a better camera angle going into turn 1 there, but we just got the light board instead. Goey's been passed by an Organic. Snellhenk has taken Danos. So Danos has had a decent start, but he was hoped for a better one. And Gala has somehow gone from first to nigh on last in half a lap of racing. Frax's AI, now I'm not sure if he's rejoined the session or if that's his AI. Reuse goes around the outside. Does the AI enable ERS? Probably not, so I would imagine Frax has got himself back in, and Gala has taken that position back off him. Back at the front then. Ivor sets the fastest lap, as you would expect, at 1:36. Well, 1:36.799, 1:36.8. And Rusty there, up from P7 on the podium already. Uglar's doing well to hold on to what he's got. We'll see how his pace is over the next 9 laps. But Westy and Sinful have made an absolutely great start. Most of the guys, to be fair, who were toward the back on the mid-pack, have gained. We've got Richie and Matty also up 6 places. We've got an issue in Sector 1. Who's that? I can't see. Doesn't look like anything. I think everyone's got through A-OK. Let's make sure everyone is on the mediums. What's this now? It's a McLaren. It's Snellhenk. He's facing the wrong way. And thankfully he doesn't have to wait too long for the rest of the pack to pass by. Colin is saying that bots deploy ERS only on lap 1. So that may well still be Frax's AI, which makes sense because it's at the back of the pack. So I think once Snellhenk dispatches him, we'll see Frax and his AI stay toward the back. Unless we see him deploying some ERS later on in the race, then we can confirm that is him back. Westy has taken Inorganic, or was that Snellhenk perhaps dropping out of the race there? I think that might have been the case. Let's ride on board with the Red Bull driver. I've just been in Al Mazrah on a war zone with him. We got ourselves a dub right before the race. So can he get himself another dub here in Bahrain? It was a quick flight, you know, from wherever it is, Eastern Europe down to the Middle East in record time. Gets himself into the garage. And DRS has been enabled as we head onto the 3rd lap of racing. And Jones has taken Ugler into turn 4. And Leakey's looking to pick up a place here perhaps. He thinks about going around the outside. Ugler comes across to cut him off. Sinful not far behind this fight either, and Ivor has extended the gap to over a second. So if you can keep that in this next little dash, you he will be outside of DRS, but Jones is pushing for the DRS. He will have it. So Ivor's going to be exposed to the DRS at the first time of asking. Sinful has taken Westy. Was that a mistake by Westy there, or did he get by and let him straight past again? I'm not too sure. An organic close as well. Evening Backer, welcome. Yeah, mate. Jones up to P2 and Sinful very close there to the back of Leaky. Richie is going for a move on Gooey. He's not deploying ERS, he's going to just send it up the inside. He gets the room and he takes a lot of curb. He's got DRS and he's lost the position out to Matty. Very unfortunate there. He could have maybe stuck it and hoped that he would have been left more room. But now he's let Matty take Gooey and he takes him into turn one. Is he going to fight around the outside? 5 cars there fighting for that position. And Rusty and Westy along side by side. Not Westy, Richie. And he nearly tags his front wing there. Let's watch on from Danis is on board as they head through turn 4. Difficult traction zone this as they head over to the right and back over to the left. Cutting across all the curbs through this section. And Danis thought about it there but wasn't left any room. Snell hangs off again. Difficult turn 4. As we said, so not a good day from McLaren. One driver not here. Neither at the back. And who's that? Garla's spun. Coming out of turn 8. Again, another tricky traction zone. And we've got Frax asking if he can join. Packer, I'm not sure what the crack is. I think he can join now, right? And take control of his car before the race starts. But he'll obviously be at the back of the grid. I wouldn't take my word for it though, Frax. I would ask an admin, season 5 admin, because you know I've only just joined. Backer or Spritzy or anyone like that who's in chat and see if they can tell you. Meanwhile, we've got multiple battles going on, many changes of position. Sinful and Westy, a big pack again of 5 cars going through turn 2. As they head down the back straight, is Westy going to put himself alongside? He's going to stay where he is, and look at that, who's that going around the outside? Was that inorganic? Was it the Mercedes? Sinful thought about it, and there's contact there between Westy and Ugla, and I think they'll have damage, and he's forcing him a little bit wide there. Well, that's what you get, I suppose. So Ugla drops down to the back of the pack, and Westy says, I'm not having that, mate. I'm getting my position back. I didn't see what happened as they came out of the traction zone from turn 8, but it looked like he was forced off the track and wide. Gaps starting to appear all over the track now then. A big gap to Danos from Gooey, nearly 2 seconds. And Jones is absolutely checked out of this. Where's that come from? Jonesy boy heads down and crosses the line in P1, 3 seconds clear of Ivor, who had a great start himself. Jones up 4 places. Matty, an absolute astonishing sprint from him so far, with 5 laps to go. And Leaky has now taken Ivor. These 2 guys are going to go side by side through turn 4, and I don't think that was as close as it looked. But I was just expecting to see the Alpines spinning around from rear contact there from Leaky, but no. And that's another move there. Haas and the Mercedes going side by side through turn 4. Matty leaves in the room. Sinful leads and cuts him off on the defensive. And Zabiaka has taken birdie, or reuse, should I say. Frax is sorting himself out. He'll be back for the feature race. Sinful, the closest driver. Westy also looking to make a move. He's burned through a lot of VRS in his opening lap, so he's going to be struggling toward the end of the race if others around him have their ERS. But he is in fine form. You can see how the grid is shaping up. A lot of positives and a lot of negatives. Heavy ups and heavy downs. The pace of this division showing itself up and down the grid. We'll see that tomorrow and we'll see that on Thursday. That's what makes these reverse sprints very, very tasty indeed. And we're right on board with Westy as he opens DRS, and he's going to surely make a move on Inorganic, who doesn't have ERS. He's going to leave himself open. Is Organic going to stay on the inside? No. He lets Westy go around the outside, and he's got the job done before he even hits the braking zone. And Richie says, I'll have a little bit of that. Is he going to get him on the switchback? He's opened up the steering. He hasn't carried any more overspeed, but he is going to get DRS. So is Inorganic. Sinful and Matty absolutely flying up the inside of his teammate there. I think he got past Sinful and nearly made a bold lunge for P3. And he has. He's got him. The two Haas drivers. And looking up the inside there goes Sinful. All of a sudden, Leaky down 2 places to his teammate and to the Mercedes driver. And the order's changing, and who's that gone wide? Inorganic, I think. Yes, he rejoins the tracks safely enough. Richie again. Oh, he's made... Danos, I think, has made contact with Richie. He's let him keep a hold of the position, but he's exposed himself now to Goey and Rusty in behind. Goey's not going to make the move. He's going to stick at it where he's got Rusty close in behind now as well. Reuse right on the tail of Spivey. Runs out on the curb a little bit. He's got plenty of VRS. Both of these guys have got plenty of VRS as they head down the final straight on the final 3 laps of this sprint. No safety cars, thankfully. We've got 14 people in chat. I love to see it. The next goal was 15, so get it done. Get it done. As I say, get your dog involved. And we've got to move. Matty has made some huge gains in the last lap, and he breaks Ivor down the inside. Zabiaka, Rusty. Has Rusty made a mistake, or is he just losing out on some positions? Rusty and Zabiaka and Goey. Let's watch on this. So Matty is up 15 places from P17. Absolute great sprint from him. But Jones has extended that margin within all the chaos to 4.5 seconds. So you'd like to think he'll be starting on the front row. Spivey takes Bertie on the exit of turn 4. But this pack here, looking for P10 to be in the top half of the grid. Actually, no, not quite, but you know what I meant. Sinful received a 3-second time penalty. And Westy has taken that position. He must have gone wide on the braking zone of turn 10. And Westy's going to look to make a move through on Leaky. But he can't get it done on this occasion. Inorganic now right up behind the Mercedes driver. A lot to play for in these final few laps, but gaps starting to appear around the top 4. Let's watch on then. Rusty has taken Goey. That battle for P10 still going on. Oh, and a late change of direction there by Inorganic. I thought he was going to go for it there for a second. Reuse, Spivey, Goey and Rusty still battling. The best they can hope for is P10 with that near 5-second margin up to P9. No one's going to catch Danos unless he makes a mistake. And around the outside, gets the better exit on the switchback. And Reuse takes the lead. There's an issue in Sector 3. Well, that can't be AI. So, he's clocked himself there, unfortunately. I guess, I mean, he's last anyway, so I don't suppose it was a problem that he rejoined, I guess. Jones, though, an absolute great drive. Up from P5. And he's going to hold on to this if he doesn't make a mistake. He's 4 seconds clear. Leaky really wants this position off Westy, but Sinful's there as well, so he's got to bear that in mind. He can't make an overzealous move on Westy. Otherwise, Sinful might snap up the pair of them. Ivor's going to drag them along in ERS, so Ivor's going to be in a precarious position if they head into turn 1, as is Westy, with these two drivers in behind having plenty more ERS. As we cross the line then, Jones leads the drivers over onto the final lap of this sprint race. Let's see then, Sinful got the overspeed on Leaky. He's going to get him going into turn 1. He's taking the inside. He brakes very late indeed, and forces him wide slightly there. That was a bit, unnecessary. And look at that. Inorganic has said thank you very much. And Frax is having an absolute nightmare at the back there. He might get lapped before the end of this race if he spills the beans one more time. Great battle here. Richie thinking, I might get involved with this now on the final laps. Westy is going to be well within DRS of Ivor in front, so Westy might fancy himself a spot in P3. Indeed, Jones, he is absolutely electric tonight. Let's hope he can continue this pace into the feature race. Westy's not going to get that move done. Leaky neither, but Richie. Leaky's got a bit to defend with. Wide there by Inorganic. Might open the door for Leaky a little bit here. I'll keep my eyes on that, but I do want to take this moment as the Red Bull driver Jones comes across the line, moves over to the pit wall and wins the Bahrain sprint race. What a drive by him in these opening 10 laps. Let's see what he can do over the next 29 in the next session. Matty, the best drive on the grid so far, up 15 places. The Haas driver will start on the front row in behind the Red Bull. Ivor holds on to that podium after starting in P4. So he will be on the second row of the grid, and I believe Westy was next. Or maybe it was, no, there was one more guy in front of Westy, I think. We'll check the final grid. Matty, of course, as you would expect, picks up driver of the day for this session. So, Jones, Matty, Ivor. Good result for Inorganic to be starting in P4. Westy dropped all the way down there. Westy got taken by Richie clearly on the final lap, or maybe he made a mistake. Dano Sinful and Zabayaka round off the top 10. Rusty Goey, Spivey, Ugla, Reuse, Gala, Snellhenk and Frax the final 10. Disappointing from Ugla and Gala. I mean, obviously they wouldn't have the pace being at the back of the bottom of the championship, but they started at the front, weren't able to carry that over. So let's just take a look at a few of these guys. Jones, Matty, Ivor and Inorganic. How do they sit in the Drivers' Championship? So Ivor and Inorganic, yeah, this will be their best start of the season, I would imagine. Neither of them have finished inside the top 10. They finished 10th, but no higher. So great returns by then. And Jones himself, he's had a few decent results, that P8. And he's brought home points every time he's finished the race. But he'll be absolutely thrilled with that finish. But yeah, let's not understate that drive from Matty. The driver who started second last on the grid and is currently, 61 points off the championship lead. He's had 2 podiums to his name this season so far. Let's switch back because it won't be long until the formation lap is underway. In fact, wow, there you go, it's underway. So, RPM Jones, for possibly the first time this season, now I don't want to say first time in his career, but for definitely first time this season, will start a Grand Prix on pole position. So absolutely love to see that. And as we highlighted there, Ivor and Inorganic with arguably their best start of the season too. So, great stuff. And Frax has been disqualified for not starting. I'm not sure if he's in the lobby or not, to be honest. Right, so I'm all hydrated and ready as they are led around the final corner. Let's take a look at the tyre options. Everyone apart from Sinful is on the medium strategy, so he will be at a disadvantage off the start, but if you can extend that stint to a safety car, then he'll be in a much better position. It looks like Matty is just slightly off that pit box, so Jones has got a slight advantage over him there. The final cars even, are just slowly making their way into their grid slots. A few disqualifications there from Goey and Gala, but we have 5 lights. No, we don't. Now we do. And it's underway, ahead of 29 laps ahead of us around the Bahrain International Circuit. Dramatic start, and Jones has already lost the lead. Unfortunately, Matty takes him into turn 1, and who the hell is that? Ivor's just absolutely dive-bombed Jones and sent him wide. He's kept on to P3. Thankfully, that is not what you want to see. Leakey's up to P4. Let's check the position changes. So Jones down 2, as you would expect, and I'm really surprised that Ivor hasn't given him that place back, because that was just really bad. Really bad. Richie and Danos scrapping for it. Inorganic has had a terrible start. He's down 7 places. Rusty has had a good start himself, up 5. And Ugler down at the bottom there. And he has to drive off the track, Inorganic. He outbraked himself again there. Jones gets it back. Go on, son. Jones back up into P2, and he'll be fired up for this. He'll be absolutely giving it his all. Let's hope he doesn't give it too much. Ivor's lost that position to Leaky now. So a little bit of karma there in the early stages. Rusty has taken Sinful, now up to P6. Westy and Danos and Gala, the only drivers holding what they have at the start, but Westy is right inside the gearbox of the Mercedes ahead. He's going to deploy some ERS. Oh, and Sinful moves over to cover him off, makes contact with the Red Bull. And I mean, what the hell are we doing here? I mean, to be fair, I mean, it was a big dive, but it was needless because Westy's taking the place back anyway on the switchback. And now Sinful, his teammate, is going to look to take that position off him, and he does. Sorry, Danos takes the position, and he does. Richie doesn't think about a dive. Makes sense. No one else, I don't think, is going to think about a move into turn 1. No, they are not. Let's see what's going on back at the front then. So Jones is still up there. Westy's gained that position after an overly enthusiastic switchback and dive bomb by Sinful into the final corner. Elbows out by all drivers, it seems, in these opening laps. Got an issue in sector 2. Off Gala. The sprint pole sitter finds himself dead last now. And Snellhank has taken reuse. Sinful's dropped right back. Second this lap alone. It looks as though Danos got a good extra, but I think Westy might be deploying some ERS. Yes, he is, to hold him at that position. No DRS yet. It will be enabled as they cross the line. So Matty leads them over the line. Jones 3 seconds down already, and he's in trouble from Leaky perhaps in the next few laps. Rusty, is he going to think about sending one on Ivor? No, he doesn't. He holds what he has. Sensible idea. Westy's right on the back of this now. He had to come off the throttle there, I think, a little bit. He's cut the corner, so that'll be a warning, I think, for him. And look at that there. Rusty wanted the position, and he's got it. Ivor's now down as an issue in sector 1. It's Richie who's made a mistake, and he's down 10 places. Now we join back on with Ivor and Westy, and Westy will be all over the back of this one. DRS will be enabled, I think. Yes, he has it. So as they head down between turns 10 and 11. And Matty is seemingly checking out of this, 3.5 seconds to Jones. If he can hang on to a podium, that would still be his best result of the season. He would have to have a disastrous moment if he's going to not get the best result of the season. So fingers crossed that he keeps a hold of that. Goey, the closest driver, in behind Sinful, who's now dropped 2 seconds to Danos. So I think this is capping out at his pace, although is he the driver on the hard tyres? Yes, he is, so that maybe explains it, but he's going to lose another position, and Goey gives him a wide berth, and he gets the move done well before the braking zone. Oh, and he locks up there, Sinful, in trying to avoid Goey, who sort of, I mean, he was entitled to do what he did, move back in front before the braking zone, but it's obviously thrown Sinful's reference off ever so slightly now, inorganic all over the back of this. And Westy also now, wow, really is up the back of Ivor. He's got to be thinking about getting the move done, setting himself up for the next DRS zone. He looks to make a move. That's a straight dive. He backed out of it, and Danos just drove straight to the side of him there. I'm not sure what that was about. I mean, it was a bold move by Westy in all fairness, but he kind of got it done because Ivor moved out the way. And then all of a sudden we just saw Danos driving straight into the side of Westy. So Danos down into P14, Westy up into P5. There's an issue in Sector 1 again. Is that a crash between AI? No, just AI on its own. It's all good. Or is that not AI? I don't know. I don't know if he joined or not. Right, who else have we got? Yeah, that gap is huge now. Absolutely massive to the front. Yeah, inorganic down 5 places, although his his race won't be defined by this kind of position. He'll be okay where he is. And Jones seems to be matching Licky's pace. He's not gaining at all. So if you can avoid making a mistake, then he'll hold on to this podium as things stand. Obviously early doors. You've got Zabayaka. He was the closest. Oh no, all of a sudden he's half a second behind. He was a 10th behind, and now he's half a second behind. No one's really in a position to be making a move. We've got an issue again. It's Frax down there at turn 3. And the safety car, a virtual safety car. Oh, we've got a virtual safety car, so everything neutralised for the time being. Zabayaka has tried a bit of overspeed there, and I think he's realised a bit too late. It is a full safety car. Safety car is out on track. Now then, it's a bit early. Let's see who pits. Matty has pitted. He's going to be going onto the hards. Jones pits as well off the mediums. This has worked out. I would imagine Sinful's going to stay out, right? Yeah, so this has worked out great for Sinful. For the time being, at least. Obviously, unless if there's no other safety car later on, then he'll find himself back in his normal position. But if you can get a safety car around lap maybe 17, maybe a bit earlier, sooner, maybe 15, 16, then he will be in a great position. Ivor stayed out on mediums, which probably isn't the right decision. And the rest of the field pit. Jones has come out. Inorganic stayed out. But Matty, who is net P1, depending on this Sinful balance, of course. So yeah, 2 medium runners stay out, and Sinful, as you would expect, stays out on the hards. It is a bit early, to be honest. Some guys have gone on the softs. Westy has decided to send it, and he'll be boxing for hards later on. It's a difficult time for mediums, I think, at this point, because it's just too early for that pit window. But now it's going to be difficult for these guys to stretch those hards all the way to the end of the race. 23 laps. It's possible, but it'll be very touch and go come the end of the race. So they'll be praying for another safety car, and everyone can box onto softs. Those 3 tyre runners will obviously be... Sorry, the 3 soft tyre runners will be looking to make inroads on the launch of the safety car, and I can see Westy sending a few on those soft tyres because he's surrounded by hard runners. We've got a pause, so let's check what we've got going on. Oh, JT, yes son, welcome. I mean, you might not be here anymore. If you've left, then fair play, but hello. Odd to see you in here. Yeah, Smith, a bit aggressive, but I guess to be fair, after 3 weeks, well more, after 3 races and what, 6 weeks worth of street tracks only, surrounded by barriers, I feel like people might be a little bit exuberant to send it up the inside, knowing that worst case they can just use the runoff. Oh yeah, yeah, last night I got stuck in the same place that Frax got stuck, on some sort of invisible gravel trap. It goes from sort of concrete to gravel, and Frax has clearly got himself stuck there. Only difference is I didn't get disqualified. Not sure why. I was stuck in the same place. I think it thought I was still moving, but obviously Frax has got himself stuck completely, and the game has disqualified him. So a disastrous night for him after disconnecting during the sprint, starting last and being the first DNFer of the race. So I'd like to think the safety car will be in at the end of this lap. We don't have to hang around for too much longer. Let's see then, as the safety car passes the sector 2 line. Are we going to go for another lap, or are we in now? Oh my god. Oh dear me, Ivor's just hit the safety car. Safety car is in this lap, but I think Ivor's just lost some front wing. I thought you got disqualified if you hit the safety car. Let's take a look. He's lost his front left end plate there. So is he going to box now? He can't. I mean, it's not terminal damage, hardly, but that's not the kind of move that you want to be making when you're leading the race. So Ivor's got to get us underway, and this is going to cause all sorts. He's leaving it very, very late. And he's gone. He enabled DRS well before he went. I'm not sure why he left it so late. That's going to cause a massive pile-up. Look at this, we've got cars 2 or 3 wide into the braking zone. Westy moves up on Rusty on those soft tyres, and he takes a lot of curb, and there's an Williams off. You know, Organics is off. And he's spun out. Gets himself back on track. Leakey is taking Jones, so Jones has had a terrible start. Unfortunately, at the safety car restart, there's Leakey in the Haas has gone wide through turn 4 and allowed both Red Bulls back up a position. Westy's had a great start, up 2 places in a matter of corners. And the leader's off. Ivor really struggling without that end plate. And Sinful takes the provisional lead of the race, but Matty, who's on the better strategy, is all over him. Issue in sector 2. That's a Red Bull. It's Westy and Jones. Oh my god, the Red Bulls are on top of each other. What is going on? They were mounted on one another, and the safety car is back out. Oh my god. So, that's saved the day for Ivor. He can come in and box off of those mediums onto the hards, and all of a sudden it doesn't look so bad. Not a clue what happened between Westy and Jones. When I caught up with them, they were on top of one another. Westy frantically trying to get off. Let's see what's going on in chat. What's the reaction here? Yeah, Colin, that was what I was thinking. I thought if you touch the safety car, you'd get disqualified. So maybe it's some sort of connection issue. Let's see who's in the pit lane then. We've got Ivor, as you would expect. Danos is pitting again. Has he maybe picked up damage? Westy and Jones, the two Red Bull drivers, servicing both front wings. So Westy's going to be waiting a while. In organic, gets himself the front wing change as well, I believe. And, of course, Ivor as well, so they'll have to catch up to the back of the pack. They've got plenty of time to do it. Jones has come out on softs, and Westy serves his penalty, I believe, there. Straps on some hards and gets a new front wing. So Westy can go long, as will the rest of the field. But Matty, that provisional, the net P1 is where it's at. Sinful obviously yet to box, so Matty will inherit the lead of this race. It's looking great for the two Haas drivers who find themselves in P2 and P3. They will likely finish P1 and 2 as things stand without any mistakes, and obviously we saw how good Matty was in the sprint race earlier, so I don't see him making any mistakes. He'll probably go on to create quite a margin over the rest of the field. Yeah, the chat loved that one. Jones is cursed, Spritzy's buckled. Intimate time together in the moment of the season. They just couldn't seem to be disconnected, mate. They just love each other that much that they have to do what they do together in real life in a car on track. I'm joking. Westy won't like that if I try and insinuate things like that. Neither will Jones, to be quite honest. We will have another lap, so you're going to have to listen to me chatting shit for the next 2.5 minutes. No DNFs though, thankfully, through all that incident. Let's take a look at the position changes and see who's lost out. Wow, look at those bottom four, bless them, Jesus. 11, 15 and 10, that's a lot of places to have lost. Considering the bold move that Ivan made going into turn 1, and Jones was forced off the track. To see them both down there is unfortunate. Snellhenk up 11 positions, so he'll be feeling good. He had a poor sprint race, but he's clawed it all back and he'll have the pace to go on. He's on the same strategy as all the drivers ahead of him, aside Sinful obviously. And Westy is going to catch up, and his tyres will be nice and warm by the time the safety car comes in, I would imagine. Thank God, safety car is in this lap, so we can get underway once again. This time it's Sinful who will lead us away. Tyre warming frantically there by Matty. He knows he doesn't have to do anything bold. I'm sure he'll try and send it into turn 1 nonetheless. Let's see how late Sinful goes. I would imagine he just floors it out of the corner, unlike Ivor earlier. No, he doesn't. He goes now though, slightly earlier than before. And Matty was ready for that. Leakey is staying on the racing line. He's not getting drawn into that. Clean air ahead of him. Matty dives back over to the left. Doesn't get the move done. Let's see what happens as we go through into turn 1. Oh, there's a spinner. Another spinner. Or was that the same car? I'm not sure. And he spun it again, bless him, on the gravel trap. It's very, very difficult once you've gone to keep it in check. Westy and Jones, the two Red Bull drivers side by side. At the back, there's an Alpine who's gone very wide there and let Jones take 2 places in 1. Great move by the Red Bull on those soft tyres, obviously, so he will have the grip advantage. And Westy looking to make a move, and he's made contact with Ivor. I think he's going out with a bang tonight, Westy. Any means necessary. Yellow flag in sector 2. It's Danos. Wide. And Westy comes back onto the track. He's going to look to move up the inside. Brakes late and very late. Oh, and the Aston Martin comes along. Jabba and collects. It's getting very feisty out there. No one seems to want to yield any kind of position. 3 wide, 4 wide. Contact. The Aston Martin's gone. The Mercedes is gone. And the Williams is gone. Dear God. Absolute carnage at the back. People just seem to be doing as they please. Maybe no safety car. Please no safety car. Oh God, Westy's just on a mission tonight. What on earth? Has he even got a front wing? He's missing an end plate. Leakey's dropped down massively. Snellhenk is all of a sudden taking P2 in all that carnage. So he's taken Matty. So I was wrong with my prediction about Haas. There's carnage at the back there, as you can see. The Alpine and Spivey going wheel to wheel. And Ivor gets ahead of his. Is this what First Division's normally like? Because it's very entertaining. I might switch over next season and do this, because this is great fun. Uglar's facing the wrong way. Inorganic up another position. Yellow flag quickly cleared. Gaps appearing. Matty, he might fancy a move. Do we have DRS yet? I'm not too sure. How has Snellhen got there? He's gained like 3 or 4 places under the safety car, I think. Or since the safety car. And Jones, yes, Westy. Bloody, not Westy. Colin. Yeah, what a shout. Jones has gone from P16 to P6 in like 2 laps. Obviously he's on the softs, so he will have to box again. But if he can time this for a safety car, when these hard tyres need to come in, which to be honest will be very, very difficult to do, I don't think he's going to have that much longer with effective soft tyres. Maybe 4 or 5 more laps before they start to drop off. But he's up for it. As I said at the start of the race, that was back when he was leading. And Jones has damage, the chat has said. Back is obviously in communication with him. Maybe they're in a party together. He's got damage to the underfloor. Well, the floor, obviously, not the underfloor, just the floor. But he's the closest driver at the minute. Matty could be looking to make a move. No, he's too far back. Jones and Inorganic, the only drivers within a second, really. Everyone else is really spread out. Very deep there by reuse, which may open the door for Jones to make a lunge into the next braking zone into turn 8. He backs out of it a little bit there, rides wide on the curb. He's defended the inside, but reuse, and he forces Jones out wide. Actually, no, he gives him the room. But now Jones has the inside line for this difficult corner. He can force him wide if he wants to. Is he going to pin it? Goes very wide, and that's going to open the door for Richie. Which it does, but he picks up a 3-second time penalty for going off the track. That's his third. And Leakey and Ivor going wheel to wheel, as are Richie. And Richie's got that position. Ivor's taking the position off Leakey. Let's take a look at the penalties. 6 seconds for reuse and 2 for the guys below. ERS. Oh shit, sorry, yeah, that should be mentioned. My bad. Right, let's do a rundown of ERS. Well, most people will be quite high, won't they? So, Sinful's got enough to play with. Snellhenk's struggling, but he's staying with him for now. That might be with the help. And look at that. Matty is definitely going to take P2 back because he has a bucket load of ERS. left to use, and he's going to be right in behind him. Might get a better exit here. Let's ride on board. P2 could be about to change. He's under DRS. Snellhank has it as well, crucially. Leaky and Ivor battling into turn 1, and Ivor coming at it very straight there from an inside position. Danos and Bertie Westy too far behind to be involved in that inorganic. There's so much going on. Everyone seems to be getting an opportunity at the same time. I don't want to miss anything. I'm flying all the way around the grid. Let's just do a quick scan of VRS. So there's Ivor with barely any left. Westy's got nothing left. Richie's got nothing left. Most of the drivers have quite a lot. Yeah, most of the drivers have quite a lot, apart from just those 2 or 3 that I highlighted there. Inorganic is probably going to get the move done. Obviously, Spivey's going to have ERS and he gets a much better exit, actually. Is Spivey going to move on Ivor? No, he's going to be too far back. Snellhank and Matty right on for the race lead. Let's ride on board with this. I'm not going to touch it for a little while now, because this is the important bit. We're about to cross the halfway stage of the Grand Prix, and Snellhank moves around the outside before the DRS zone, and so does Matty. So Sinful, those tyres, 15 laps old, he's going to have to box soon, but he'll want to wait for a safety car. It'll be doubtful if he ever gets one. Now Matty's going to open up the corner, which he's done nicely. Is he going to carry more speed? Yes, he has. He's going to deploy that ERS that he's been saving up, and the DRS. Snellhank moves over to defend the inside, but Matty's going to get it done before the braking zone. Is he going to fight it? Yes, he is. Snellhank in the McLaren puts a battle up against the Haas, but Matty gets the job done, and after being in a really low position, second last on the grid at the start of the sprint, he takes the lead, net P1, with 14 laps to go, halfway through the race, and he still has a lot of ERS to defend with. So as I said earlier, Matty is now in a position, he's in clean air with battery to use. He's probably going to extend that gap. He'll look to get out of DRS as soon as he can. Jones is up another position. He's been flying since the safety car restart, and he's now up from P6 to P5 and closing in on Rusty, who doesn't have DRS. He's also on those hard tyres, so Jones is going to look to make the most of it. He'll be praying for a safety car now. Goes a little bit wide. I would imagine he's going to look to set himself up for a move going down into turn 1. And he gets it done for the braking zone. So 2 seconds is the margin. How much can you take out of the podium sitters before those tyres turn to dust? He's done 7 laps on them now. I can't imagine he has too much left in them. But you can see the race leader ahead of him, where he started this race. Got a potential move here. Williams on the Alpine. Is he going to send it up the inside of 4? No. 2 guys who started at the front of the grid during the sprint. The 2 guys at the bottom of the championship battling, and a little bit of oversteer there as he clipped the curb. Garlett coming through turn 6. And he goes very wide there. Let's open the door for the DRS straight. I'm looking at the timings, and no one else is really that close. Ivor's moving in behind Leaky. Oh, and there's contact, I think. Maybe connection. Has he got damage? Let's check. Doesn't look like he has. Nothing on there. Jones has taken 4 tenths out of them, 5 tenths out of them, 6 tenths out of them in this lap. But again, those tyres are going to be on their last legs for sure. Issue, it's the Aston Martin. Zabajaka has DNF'd. And the safety car is back out. Now that is prime for Jones. He will be loving this. What will people do though? I feel like those hard tyres. people aren't going to have another set of mediums, as I learned yesterday. So those guys on the hards have got the choice, I think, to go soft or to stay out on what they've got. They'll have the used mediums from the sprint race, but they won't make it to the end and be effective. Be very interesting to see what happens here. Jones is definitely going to pit, but what do the guys in behind him do? 8 laps, for example, for Danos. That will be wasted, I think, if he chose to come in. And like I say, the limited options for tyres on these sprint weekends. Let's wait and see what happens. I'll take a drink and have some snacks. I imagine Zabiaka just gave it too much throttle on the exit of 10. It's a strange place to DNF. Let's see what happens then. Matty. Oh, they're fighting for the pit entry there. I'm not sure what happened there. Snellhenk wasn't leading on track, right? And then all of a sudden he was ahead of him before the pit lane. And then all of a sudden Matty said, no, you know what, I'm having this back. Matty stayed out. Was I looking at something different there? I'm really confused. I thought they both went in. So yeah, most guys have stayed out. Jones straps on 3-lap-old hard, so he'll be good to go until the end of the race. Snellhenk on used mediums. Not the worst thing for him, actually. His are only 5 laps old because of his DNF during the sprint race, so... or disqualification or whatever it was. So that's not the worst thing for him. Sinful has box to mediums finally. So that's worked for him. Now this will be interesting, as we say, with those guys who will finish the race on something like 23, 24 lap old hard tyres. So they'll be struggling towards the end. I think it's going to be spicy in the final few laps. So Jones has made 3 stops, obviously there, and the one from the damage with his teammate earlier. But he's arguably in the best position on these fresh hards come the end of the race. Those mediums, okay, Sinful will be fine on those mediums. Snellhenk is a question mark, and then the drivers ahead on 12 lap olds. It'll be viable, but it might not be very effective come the final few laps. So Jones, although he's in P13, could still be on for a good result if he has the pace around here to get by some cars early doors. Realistically, he wants to be able to get past those medium runners and hold them off for as long as he can. We've got Zabiyaka in chat saying it's impossible to race when some people want to play a demolition derby. When a guy tries to hit you on purpose 3 times, there's no point to race like that. Good luck. Well, fair play. I haven't seen that particular incident, I don't think. But you're right, no one wants bumper cars. There we go. That felt a little bit quicker. Well, it wasn't, but it felt quicker. So, Matty, the third driver to lead us away after 3 safety cars in 19 laps. He's going to go. No, he's not. Let's see when he goes. We've got 10 laps of racing to go after they cross the line onto lap 20. And Westy's immediately dropped back. And he's sent one. Good, well-timed braking zone, that to be fair. He's got Leakey on his outside. Ivor. Jones is taking in organic. Let's have a look as they head down. He's gone off the track, I think, there in organic. And trying to make an overtake, and there's a crash. Don't bring the safety car out again, please. Oglar's kept it going on those soft tyres. Unfortunate for him. So, Matty already 1.5 seconds clear of Danos. He's had a great recovery after the contact earlier on. Reuse and Snellheim going to and fro as they head through turn 10. But the medium tyres prevail in that one. Westy up to P5 after a decent launch through turn 1. It was a ballsy braking zone, but in fairness, he got it slowed down in time. Didn't make contact with anyone. Richie, I think he's had a great... okay, only 2 places. Did he have a mistake at the start, I think? I think he was all the way toward the back of the field at the start, and Jones has taken birdie. And so has Inorganic. And Inorganic's completely just cut the track there in order to avoid Jones. That was interesting braking zone from him there. And Bertie takes that position back, and he's carrying over speed. He's approaching Jones very quickly. He must be running low wings. Is he going to dive him? Jones is going to leave him a bit of space. No, it wasn't necessary though. No DRS yet. And reusing Inorganic. Inorganic's got that place back again. And Goey, bloody hell, look at the speed of him there. He came absolutely flying up behind him. It was like a missile. So no messing around there from the other AlphaTauri, and his teammate stays well out of the way of that one, as you would. I mean, Jesus, if I saw that coming in my rear view mirror, I'd get out of the way as well. The closest driver then, Sinful, half a second in behind a few of the guys, half a second down. And he is fresh rubber. Big gaps appearing between P1, P2 and 2 and 3. Richie still within the shot of a podium as he heads into the braking zone. He's got a better exit, has he? No, maybe not. Matty sets the fastest lap at 32.6. Richie's not going to burn too much ERS because he knows that DRS is upcoming either. Close to Leakey as well, not enough. Sinful closing in on Spivey as we just saw. Nothing happening at the minute, but now that DRS has been enabled, we should see a few more position changes. Nobody gaining. Ivor's gaining. Sinful's gaining, and he doesn't make the move. Richie, 3/10 before the braking zone as they head through into turn 8. Is he going to get the traction? Pretty level. I've had the track closed for a while. Let me get that back open, see what people have to say, if anything. Not much, just a few more from Schmidt and Sabiyaka, and Ivor's taken Leakey around the outside before the braking zone into turn 11, but goes wide himself, and Leakey is going to take that position back and says thank you very much. Ivor's cost himself there by going deep and going wide. It wasn't necessary. He got the move done before the braking zone, so he could have... No, he didn't have to outbrake himself there. Mistake from the Alpine. He's left the door open for Spivey. Sinful will be loving all this ahead of him. He knows that he can get these drivers on these medium tyres, but he has to do it soon. The two AlphaTauris are battling for position. One on the softs, one on the hards. I wouldn't fight that too much if I were you, Reuse. He's going to get by you anyway. And Richie takes Rusty, and he finds himself on the podium as they get through turn 1 and turn 2 and 3. Richie up. Spivey and Ivor battling. Let's watch on with this one. Oh, has he lost it? No, he just oversteered a little bit wide there. Sinful gets the move done. Is he going to have room on the outside to dive? Yes, he does, because Spivey backs out. A little lock up. Leaves the room. Jones has passed Snellhenk, and Snellhenk's back past Jones. Ivor has been taken by Sinful. So Sinful up 2 places in a matter of corners there. Snellhenk very close behind. Let's watch on with this as they head into the difficult braking zone, one of the hardest braking zones on the entire calendar. Jones close to this as well, with a little bit more ERS than Snellhenk, but Spivey's done well to hold on to it. Either in the same boat, not with much. Gap at the front's pretty level. Who's got more ERS? Let's see. Matty 30%, Danos 20, Richie struggling, but as is Rusty. So this position for P3 is up for grabs. Westy also struggling, a second and a half behind. Leaky 3 seconds off the pace of Westy, but still with 50% battery, so he'll look to defend P6 in these final few laps. Who is going to be struggling for tyres then? Let's take a look. Matty, 18 lap old hards. They will be coming to the end of the life. He won't box now though, obviously, so he's got to hope he can keep them together. Richie also struggling. Danos could come back into it. Doesn't have much ERS, so he's going to have to hope for a big drop off on those tyres, but I think it would be a big ask. Sinful still in the best position. Did I just miss a move there? No, they went side by side, but Rusty had to back out of it. Yeah, Sinful's probably in the best position. He'll likely take Leaky, and all depending on his pace, whether he gets Westy or not. Obviously those mediums deteriorating slightly faster every lap than the hards, but as he's done over double fewer laps than the guys ahead, it'll be an interesting complex come the end. And those soft tyres, I mean the two guys there, Goey and Ugler, are going to be struggling, I think, to finish in a decent place. This is the closest gap. Snellhenk is right up behind Spivey on those mediums, as we've said. Older mediums now though, they're approaching the end of the life. He'll make the end of the race though, no problem. Be all eyes on Sinful, I think, especially as they head out of the final corner. He should get better traction, he should have better turn in, and he'll have DRS. Leaky will be left exposed. He's absolutely sent it there, and he's got a good exit, pretty equal. Leaky's deploying that battery that he's stored up, and Sinful is using some as well. Snellhenk is going to get the move done. Under braking, he goes wide, he misses the apex. He's not entitled to hit the apex. But Ivor's gone around the outside. I missed that because of the way I decided to pick up the camera angles. Jonesy and Spivey going wheel to wheel. And Jones sends it up the inside. He wasn't left an awful lot of room by Spivey. And he returns the favour by squeezing him ever so slightly. And Jones back up to P10. He would have hoped for a few more positions, I think. He may still get them, for as long as Snellhenk stuck behind these guys. Oh, and he's starting to get a little bit twitchy there. He's dropped the rear, a little bit of oversteer on the exit. Under traction. I was going to say, for every lap that Snellhenk does, he will be losing pace to Jones in behind. We've got, I think that was Gala who made that mistake, the yellow flag. Ivor loves to go off the track there. He's done that twice or 3 times in the last few laps. Hasn't fully opened the door to Snellhenk, but it might do soon. Really struggling now, I think, on traction. Jones will be licking his lips for a P9, and again, possibly a P8. I mean, Ivor's tyres 6 laps older than his. Let's see then, no one else is really in a position for an overtake. Ivor's the closest, but it's not close enough. The 2 Alfa Romeos still going tooth and nail. And Goey has retired in the pit lane on those softs, so he's done. That promotes Garlow to P14 and Uglane to P15 still. Both score points, which is good if they see out these final 4 laps. Good battle here for P8. 3 cars in contention. Look at this. Jones takes a nice wide line. He's going to get a better exit, I think, here. Takes a lot of curb. It's good, though. Gets his foot to the floor. He's got DRS. He's got no ERS to defend with. Neither is either. Jones on slightly healthier tyres, but crucially, Snellhenk has got ahead. Just in time, really, because those mediums are going to be falling off. And the few of those guys at the front there, Leaky, Rusty, Richie and Matty, now across the 20 lap mark on those tyres. 7 seconds the gap to Richie, so P1 and P2 are all but secured if they can keep it on track. Rusty still within DRS, still within a chance of a podium. And Jones will be giving it everything on those tyres to try and take Ivor, to try and take P9. It hasn't been his night, unfortunately. He had a great sprint race. He had a great start, but then a collision has cost him a lot of points. And he's within 2 tenths. Not going to make a move here, but he could set himself up down the middle straight. Let's see, the battle for the podium. ERS is more or less equal. Jones, 4 tenths right in the gearbox. Is he going to get a better traction on exit? He's got DRS, but I think they must have been very close to one another because it seemed like a bit of a slow exit there. Braking and turning in, difficult traction with low rubber. And you don't want to clip this inside curb either. Slight bit of oversteer by Ivor. Keeps it together though. Matty sends us around for the penultimate lap of the race. Oh, in a moment there, slightly by Ivor. That's opened the door for Jones here. He's going to be within DRS. He's going to use all of his battery. He's going to go around the outside to have the inside line for the braking zone ahead. He's ahead of Ivor. And Jones takes P9. Meanwhile, battle for P6 is ongoing. And Leakey's got a better exit, I think. Should duck inside and duck back out. He's going to hold his line. That entitles Sinful to move back over. Snellhenk's joining the party as well for P6. And Jones isn't out of this yet. You can see it ahead. And he knows if those 2 guys are battling ahead, he can gain a lot of time in under 1 clean braking zone. So he's not out of the equation either. Those mediums will be really struggling, as will those 22 lap old hards in Organic and Spivey swapping positions. It's not over yet though. Matty and Danos heading down the back straight to take us on and around the final lap. He's going to get this move done in Organic. He's going to use ERS. He'd be better off holding for the DRS line. He's not. Oh, he might have got it, but he's gone very wide. I'm not sure who got DRS there. He did get it in the end. So Inorganic takes that position, as does Reuse. So Spivey's dropped down 2 places as they head on to the final lap. Battle for P7 now, realistically, I think. It's not over yet. So as things stand then, Richie is on to complete the hat-trick of podiums, as I mentioned earlier. So that'll be great for him. And Matty is on for back-to-back First Division wins, so that will bounce his points total really high. Danos in P2 and P2 in the Championship, so he'll hold some good points and he'll hold Matty off for the time being. What's that there? The McLaren Snellhenk has gone wheel to wheel with Leaky. Matty has gone on to win. Danos in P2. What's going to happen here? Is Snellhenk going to get a better exit? Oh, he's made contact with the hat and he's spun him round on the final corner of the final lap, and he's going to be in line. He's going to be in the way. Chaos. Absolute chaos. Drivers dodging Leaky, and Leaky cannot get the car facing the right way. Wow. Contact from Snellhenk to take P7, and Leaky will be fuming with that. I would be. He's made rear contact on the final corner, and he's cost the Haas team and the Haas driver 7 places there. Jones came home in P8 in the end. He got those extra positions. So a good drive from him, all things considered, after the sprint. Danos picks up driver of the day. Let's see what the rest of you guys think for driver of the week. So then, let's take a look at the final standings once these guys have wandered off out onto the podium. So there it is then, the final classification for round 8 of the First Division. Matty takes home his 2nd race win in a row. Danos and Richie round off the podium. Richie's 3rd podium in a row. Oh wait, this is, hold on, there we go. Rusty takes P4 in the end. Sinful and Westy in P6. Snellhenk, a good drive considering the grid start in 17th there. Jones, not a bad result. I think that's his joint best result of the season, but he'll be disappointed not to have finished higher after converting that pole position in the sprint race. Ivor, Spivey, Inorganic, Reuse, Leaky, Gala and Ugla round off the points, and then the 3 DNFs at the bottom there. I'm going to sneeze. Oh, bless me. Yeah, so there we go. We're done. So cheers to everyone that watched. Obviously it was a bit makeshift for me tonight, getting called in to cover First Division, but it was good fun. Plenty of action, that's for sure. Tomorrow night you'll have Luke on Championship comms, and then is it Jones probably on, yeah, Jones on Thursday for Premier, and that'll round us off for the week. So cheers to all you guys who were in the chat. Hope you've enjoyed it. It was definitely a chaotic one, and everyone is piling out of the lobby now. So I'm going to call it there. I'll see you guys